Hello, little dreamers, and welcome to our magical story time. I'm so glad you're here. Are you ready for an adventure? Today, we're going to a sunny meadow to meet a very special friend. His name is Bobo, and he's not just any dragon. He's a bubble dragon. He loves to create wonderful things with his shimmering magical bubbles. This story is all about how a little bit of fun and a big, kind heart can solve even the biggest problems. So, get comfy, snuggle up, and let your imagination take flight as we join Bobo on his bubbly adventure. Let's begin our story. Bobo and the Rainbow Bridge. Once upon a time, in a meadow filled with wildflowers and buzzy bees, lived a happy little dragon named Bobo. Bobo was a bubble dragon, which meant his favorite thing in the whole wide world was, you guessed it, blowing bubbles. Every sunny morning, you could find him in his favorite spot, puffing his cheeks and creating all sorts of wonderful bubble shapes. Pop, 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 he would giggle with delight. He wasn't just blowing simple round bubbles. Oh no, Bobo was an artist. He'd blow tiny bubbles that joined together to look just like fluffy bunnies with long ears. They'd hop, hop, hop through the air before vanishing with a soft asterisk, pop, asterisk. Then, he'd create beautiful bubble birds with delicate wings that would seem to fly towards the clouds, shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow. The whole meadow seemed to dance with his glistening, floating creations. All the little critters of the meadow loved to watch Bobo. It was like a magical show every single day. One particularly bright morning, while Bobo was trying to create a bubble squirrel with a big, bushy tail, a real little squirrel came scurrying up to him, looking very worried. His whiskers were twitching with concern. "Bobo, Bobo," he chattered, his little paws pattering on the ground. "We have a problem, a big problem." Bobo stopped blowing his bubbles and looked down at his friend, a little squirrel named Squeaky. "What's wrong, Squeaky?" Bobo asked, his voice soft and gentle. "The river," Squeaky panted, pointing a tiny paw towards the edge of the meadow. "It rained so much last night, and now the river is too high. It's flowing too fast and too strong. We can't cross to the other side to get to the berry bushes." Bobo looked over and saw that Squeaky was right. The usually calm, gentle river was now a rushing, gushing torrent of water. On the other side of the river stood the most wonderful berry bushes, heavy with ripe, juicy red berries that all the animals loved to eat. But now, they were completely out of reach. Soon, other animals gathered around. There was Rosie the rabbit, with her floppy ears drooping sadly, and Barnaby the bear cub, who loved berries more than anything. They all looked very disappointed. "Oh dear," said Rosie. "What will we do? I was so looking forward to some yummy berries for lunch." Barnaby the cub let out a little whimper. "No berries." Bobo looked at his sad friends, and his heart felt a little heavy. He hated seeing them so unhappy. He looked at the rushing river, and then at his own bubbly paws. He thought for a moment, his little dragon mind worry and spinning. How could he help? He couldn't stop the river. He couldn't carry everyone across. But then, an idea sparked in his mind, as bright and colorful as one of his own bubbles. A huge smile spread across his face. "Don't worry, everyone," Bobo announced cheerfully. "I have an idea. I'll make a bridge." Squeaky the squirrel tilted his head. "A bridge? But Bobo, how? We don't have any wood or stones." Rosie the rabbit wiggled her nose, "and it would take so long to build one." Bobo just chuckled, a happy, bubbly sound. "It won't be a normal bridge," he explained, his eyes twinkling with magic. "It will be a Bobo bridge." With that, Bobo took a deep, deep breath, bigger than any breath he had ever taken before. He puffed out his cheeks until they were as round as two big balloons. Then, with a mighty whoosh, he blew. Out came not a tiny bubble bunny, but a huge, magnificent bubble. It was as big as a pumpkin and shimmered with every color you could imagine: orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. It floated gracefully through the air and landed gently on the water, bobbing on the surface without popping. The other animals watched in amazement. They all whispered. Bobo didn't stop there. He took another deep breath and blew another giant bubble, and then another and another. One by one, he blew a long line of enormous, sparkling bubbles. He carefully guided them with little puffs of air until they lined up perfectly, stretching all the way from their side of the river to the other, right where the berry bushes were. They bumped gently against each other, forming a beautiful, bouncy, rainbow-colored path across the water. The Bobo Bridge was complete. The animals stared in awe. It was the most beautiful bridge they had ever seen. The sun shone through the bubbles, making them sparkle like a chain of giant jewels. "It's," Squeaky asked nervously, peering at the wobbly-looking path. Bobo nodded confidently. "Of course, but you must walk carefully, one at a time." Squeaky decided to be the brave one. He took a hesitant step onto the first bubble. It wobbled and jiggled a little under his paws, but it held him. He took another step, and another. "It's bouncy," he giggled, his fear turning into excitement. He carefully scampered from one bubble to the next, his little feet making soft bowing sounds. In no time, he was safely on the other side. "I made it," he shouted back. Next, it was Rosie the rabbit's turn. She hopped gently onto the bridge, her long ears flopping with each bounce. "Wee," she laughed. "This is more fun than hopping through the meadow." She giggled all the way across. Soon, all the other animals, the mice, the hedgehogs, and even Barnaby the bear cub followed. They walked carefully across the magical bubble bridge, their faces full of joy and wonder. The bubbles bounced gently under their feet, and they all couldn't help but giggle as they crossed the river. "You did it, Bobo!" Rosie cheered from the other side, holding up a paw full of delicious red berries. "You saved the day! Now we can all reach the berries!" All the animals cheered for their clever friend. "Hooray for Bobo! Hooray for the bubble bridge!" Bobo watched his friends happily munching on the sweet berries, and his heart felt as warm and bright as the sunshine. He felt so happy that his special talent for blowing bubbles could be used to help everyone. He smiled, looking at his amazing rainbow bridge. "See?" he said to himself. "Sometimes bubbles are stronger and more helpful than you think." From that day on, the bubble bridge became a legend in the meadow, and whenever the animals needed help, whether it was crossing the river or reaching a high branch on a tree, they knew they could count on their bubbly dragon friend. Bobo was always ready with a puff of his cheeks and a magical bubbly solution, proving that kindness and creativity can build a bridge over any trouble. And he and his friends lived happily and bubbly ever after. The end. Wasn't that a wonderful story? Bobo showed us that even something that seems small and playful, like a bubble, can become something strong and helpful when you use your imagination and have a kind heart. It reminds us that our unique talents, no matter what they are, can bring so much joy and help to others. Thank you so much for joining me for our story time today. I hope you enjoyed our adventure with Bobo the Bubble Dragon. If you loved our story, please give this video a thumbs up, and do you and T forget to subscribe to our channel for more magical adventures. We have so many more stories to share with you. Until next time, keep dreaming and keep smiling. Bye.